How you guys doing today? I'm Michael Kafis for the Comment Podcast, and I'm here with Tom Merrit, co-host of Tech News Today on the Twit Network. Tom, thanks for joining me today. I really want to thank you. I appreciate it. I really enjoyed Tech News Today. I want to ask you, someone coming here as a presenter of the con, you've been coming here for quite some time now too, and I just want to wonder if you have any advice to give people, any of our listeners, things to do, like maybe places to eat. Personally, we like the Metro Diner Cafe. We love Mama Ninfa's. Anything in particular? Where do you go and eat?
You know, Mama Ninfa's has been one of my staples as well. And this year's different because most of the time I've been staying in the Westin or the Sheraton, and I found that I ended up eating outside a lot more during those. So I've kind of forgotten some of the places. I know where they are, but I've kind of forgotten some of those places I ate. This year I've eaten. I haven't actually been outside in 3 days.
There are food trucks here this year too. I noticed.
I know.
Yeah.
So I've eaten almost exclusively in the hotel, and I think you got great recommendations as far as like going outside and definitely do that. You're going to eat cheaper. You're probably going to get better service. The problem in the hotels is the service is so overwhelmed that it's variable. We had honestly one of the worst experiences ever this week, and also one of the best. I feel like Trader Vic's is really good at the service. It's also really expensive.
Yeah.
And the tip there is to go onto OpenTable like at least a week before the con and make a reservation for when you know you'll be hungry, if you can predict that, and you'll be able to kind of swing in there. Otherwise, look for those carts around. They may not be the healthiest options, but they're going to be the quicker ones.
I've noticed we tried using a couple of apps here, and I wanted your input too. We tried the parking app. Which one? I forgot which one it was, but it was going to tell us where we could get the cheapest park and where it was going to be. Well, the app told us $10. When we got there, it was $30. So we learned a valuable lesson. Have you had any experience with apps that normally on a daily basis would be very useful, but not so useful at Dragon Con?
My experience with apps at Dragon Con is they're almost useless because I can never get a data connection.
Well, yeah, we've obviously experienced that too.
When I was on AT&T, the data was crappy, and then I switched to Verizon. Now AT&T seems to be working, and Verizon has been crappy.
Sprint's, yeah.
So I really haven't used apps at all. I always carry that paper schedule with me as a backup, and I just kind of ask around. That's the beauty of Dragon Con is people are so nice and friendly. You can almost always find the right answer asking a couple people.
Where does Tom Merrit like to go when he's at Dragon Con?
My panels. I get a pretty packed schedule when I come to Dragon Con, but when I do add a little extra time, I do like to go and hang out. Like at the Hilton Bar is very convenient. I like to go out to some Mexican food. There's actually a couple of them out there, and I like to just hang out. Just kind of, we have a table usually every year, and I like to hang at the table, just talk to people, and just walk around. And I just never get some time to find the panels that I really want to see, but I feel like I get so much out of it. Just chatting, just meeting new people.
Best costume you've seen so far?
There was a, oh shoot, and now I'm going to lose all my geek cred because I can't remember the name of the video game it was from. But there was it's a big, bald, white and red character from a video game that honestly looked like he stepped right off the screen.
Wow.
So it wasn't even the most complex, but it was just really well done. The cutest one was a kid dressed up as Robot Chicken.
Wow.
And he had the whole like metal arm and the monocle and everything. It's really cool.
That's really cool. Anything else you can tell us? Something you've learned this year or from past years in Dragon Con? You could say, avoid doing this, or before you come here, definitely pre-plan on something.
Right. The reservations is a good one. Little elevator hacking. If you can get into the service elevators, if somebody asks you to leave, be polite and leave. But a lot of times they won't care. And the elevator lines can be really awful here. So if you can scope out where those are, sometimes that'll help move you along.
One of the things I've learned is, especially on certain floors, if you go walk up the steps one floor above, wait for the empty one to come down, get on, you're going to be packed in.
Yeah.
But at least you're on the elevator, because some of these elevator lobbies are like
always
ridiculous.
Saying, got to go up to get down, got to go down to get up.
Yeah.
That's definitely happened a lot. Another thing is when walking through crowds, I picked this up off a Boing Boing article years ago. Look down at feet and walk to the open space, and you will just cut through crowds like a warm knife through butter. It works much better when you're alone than when you're trying to stay with a pack.
Sure.
But But the idea is that people don't tend to walk in front of you when your head's down, but you still can see where you're going, and you can actually find open space there.
Wow, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So, Tom, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Anything you'd like to plug? Anything you're working on? Some special projects?
Well, our Sword and Laser episode, we did an interview with Jim Butcher here at the con yesterday at 2:30. That'll be posting this week.
Oh.
Also, the Championship FSL Tonight episode. That's a fantasy sports league, emphasis on the science fiction and fantasy. That happened. That one's already up. And we've got some special coverage coming up on Tech News Today for a Samsung event and for an Apple event the next couple of weeks. Keep an eye out for that.
Okay. Well, Tom, I want to thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We got to get to the parsecs. We're covering that next.
All right, I'll see you there.
For the Comment Podcast, I'm Michael Kavis. Thanks for joining us.